Hello and welcome to my kitchen and another episode, an amateurish episode of Chill Sessions. Amateurish, I hear you say? Wow, that's just for the few haters out there. We love you. You do you, whatever that is. We were due to talk with the Quick Stop F1 guys last night. Nasha and Tandy, but unfortunately Nasha has COVID, so get well soon, buddy. Instead you've got me, so I wanted to take a moment today to talk about the FIA and the F1's elephant in the paddock: diversity. Quick Stop F1's Abu Dhabi quali review show with Mario and Tasha included a really important conversation that they were having about diversity, inspired by the end of season class pics that some of the teams posted. Like all class pictures, they had everything: awkward poses and forced smiles, but there was a special edition that many didn't actually spot. A giant elephant in the background. How the teams didn't notice is beyond me and everyone else, it seems. A glaring omission, a stark reminder, staring us all in the face. If a picture could speak 1,000 words, these 2023 pictures would be one word repeated 1,000 times. Diversity, 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 right? Now, it's a word that's being used a lot, but for good reason. There's a lot of talk about diversity, equality, inclusivity. Some will call it EDI, because they love an acronym. We try to avoid acronyms, but sometimes they're helpful. A lot of talk about the importance of diversity to life, to work, to sport, and in particular Formula One. And to many on the outside, there seems to be lots of talk and not much walk, right? Not much action, okay? So I want to just spend a little bit of time today whilst I'm here on my own. Andy's busy on calls with various people and Emma's doing other stuff as well. So you've got me. I want to unpick the whole diversity thing a little bit from a LKYSUNZ point of view. So right now, there is a lack of diversity and a distinct lack of people and faces and voices and minorities and underrepresented communities, right, from around the world, which the Formula One World Championship traverses each year, clocking up roughly around, 120,000 miles. A World Championship that's made up of predominantly 99% and more white European. And Europe only accounts for 9% of the world's total population. Is that representative of a world championship? Right off the bat, let me be really clear. It's very easy to walk into a room, a project, a client, or a world championship, the pinnacle of motorsport, and point out all the things that need changing. It's really easy, isn't it? We've probably all done it. It's really tempting. LKYSUNZ aren't here to do that. F1 and F1 teams is a colossal organisation. Lots of people in a huge juggernaut, an ecosystem, an entire entity in itself. And current teams employ anywhere from between 300 and 1,200 people per team. And that's not including Pirelli, FOM, FIA representatives or Liberty Media. So let's say, for example, there's 10 to 12,000 people directly employed by Formula One. Changing an organisation like that is like turning the MSC Arena, the largest contendership on the planet. It's like turning that on a sixpence. It's not easy. It's really difficult. And we, as a new organisation, we have to acknowledge that. So here are some caveats. Number one, red flag. Current teams cannot simply stop, sack, or force early retirement for existing team members. They can't do that just to make way for new, more diverse people. You can't do that. Many of the teams are supreme in their legacy. I'll give you an example. Mercedes were Braun. Before that, they were Honda. Before that, they were BAR. And before that, they were Tyrrell from 1970 to 1998. So we're going back 43... I don't know. It's a lot, right? 1970 to now is 53 years. There you go. Let me do that bit again. Say you total... Aston Martin, another one. Before that, they were Racing Point. Before that, they were Force India. They were Spiker. Before that, they were Midland. And before that, they were Jordan from 1991 to 2005. And there will be a lot of people again who were there for a long time. So F1 can, will, and must change. But it won't change overnight or as quick as we and most of the teams and lots of the fans would like. That's the harsh reality. Number 2, time. It takes time to find, support, educate, and train people to be at the level required to hold any position in a Formula One team, but certainly a junior or a senior position in the world's pinnacle motorsport championship, right? That's just a fact. It just takes time, brackets, but you have to go and find the people, spend the money finding them, training them, etc. Number 3, LKYSUNZ, contrary to some of the views from people out there, we've perhaps not had the opportunity to explain to those people, or they've not wanted to listen. LKYSUNZ was never intending to start a Formula One team or buy a Formula One team and airdrop in new talent to the mix that's never even seen a Formula One car, let alone built one or engineered one or designed the aero on it. That would be ridiculous, as it would be completely unfair to the talent and the existing team members. No, we had and still have around 380 people ready to join LKYSUNZ. These are people who are currently in motorsport and Formula One, because to build an F1 car, to build a Formula One team, you need experienced, skilled, technically competent people. We have technically competent people already working on LKYSUNZ. We've got a lot of other people waiting in the wings. But that was when we were starting a brand new team from ground zero, like Andretti currently is. Whether we still do, or whether we buy a current team, LKYSUNZ are unlikely to tick any equality, diversity and inclusivity boxes right out the box. Where LKYSUNZ will differ, the minute we sign a deal, our work to build our academies and educational programs across Asia, Africa and North America starts. So, just how big is the challenge? Well, unless you're new to the sport or you've been hiding under a rock, take a look at the F1 pit lane and paddock, or download and read the Improving Representation of Black People in UK Motorsport, released by the Hamilton Commission, I think in 2021. Read that and you can begin to really understand the challenge facing motorsport. There's many, great quotes in that report, but I'll read this one. If the industry is serious about making changes, they have to start making it easier to access motorsport. Teams should select from a wider pool of universities, set up mentoring programs, and promote diverse role models externally. From a black engineer working in motorsport. There's a lot of important statements in the Hamilton Commission report that I could read. Hell, I could just narrate the report into an audio book for them, because I think it's that important. But there was one that caught my eye as well, and the quote is this: "We do not care about ethnicity. If the guy is a genius and he can make the car go faster, we will hire him." That's from a head of HR in a Formula One team. That's a direct quote from that report. The operative words being guy and him. I mean, hashtag equality, right? So ingrained is it that their language is automatically aimed at men. It goes on. We think we are very diverse because we are not concerned where a person is coming from. We are trying to hire the people who are a fit for our environment, who can bring value. Sounds okay, it's not great, but most people, particularly younger people, aren't aware that a career in motorsport and F1 is possible. And why is that? Through no fault of their own, many young people live in urban areas, nowhere near a track or a race team. Most don't attend the type of schools. Hang on a minute. So, HR person working in Formula One, I think you should be concerned about where people are, not where they're from. That means you have to invest in programs like the ones recommended by the Hamilton Commission, or make your own. There's plenty of them out there. You have to go where the talent is, not where you expect them to come from. So, changes are happening slowly. Look, diversity, equality, inclusivity are handy sound bites. They're like a political manifesto. Political parties write manifestos, lots of promises, lots of talk. We will do this, we will deliver this, you will get this, we promise this. Look, politics is what it is. I'm a cynical skeptic when it comes to politicians and politics. But before you vote, for example, in an election, right, you have to find the candidate or the party that best represents or reflects the view of the world that you want to see. That's it, right? Study their literature and see if they really are committed to the causes you care about. And only then can you make an informed decision about whether you want to vote for them. The same is true, I think, of Formula One. If you really care about seeing more equality and diversity and inclusivity, go and investigate the team you love, or the driver and the team that they race for, or any of the current F1 teams. See what they're doing about these things and see if it meets with your beliefs and vision of the world. Are teams trying to do more regarding EDI? Is your team doing anything? It's fair to say that some are more proactive than others, and some aren't at all. Lots of talk and statements on web pages. But the proof, as they say, is going to be in the pudding. So we will see. Quite literally, we will see. Mercedes AMG Petronas F1, for example, has Accelerate 25. McLaren's website, if there is information about their diversity program, I couldn't find it. And judging by a lot of the pictures plastered over their comms, they can't find it either. I chose 3 other teams at random, and I thought I'd check their websites. So Ferrari, it's a bit awkward. I wouldn't bother. I love Fred Vasseur. I think he is just the medicine that team needs. I think he's going to be a force for good for Ferrari. And he's had a busy year, right? So perhaps he's not had a chance to really get across what they're going to be doing with regards to, EDI and their program. Red Bull. Red Bull have got Drive for Change. That's their offering. There's a section on their site, but you'd have to Google it like I did because I couldn't find it just by going to their site. And they have a diversity strategy, so that's brilliant. Good. Haas, their website has a statement about diversity, which, I guess is a start. It's a paragraph. Got to start somewhere. I'm sure Gunter's got more important things to worry about at the moment. I'm not going to review every team here for you. If diversity is truly important to you, go research which teams are doing what and vote with your fandom, right? If the team you absolutely love isn't doing it, message them. Find out what they're doing. Maybe they are. I haven't found it. That's okay. I'm happy to be wrong. But if you love F1, if you believe, like LKYSUNZ believes, that sport must be diverse, more equal, more inclusive, then here are 3 questions that you could ask them or yourself or the teams that you love, which is this. Number 1, are teams genuinely working to bring about diversity? Number 2, are F1, Liberty Media and the FIA really committed to EDI? We race as one. Where's that gone? Where's the taking the knee? Whether you agree with it or not, where's the we race as one gone? And number 3, how are Formula One, the FIA and Formula One teams investing to bring about diversity and equality and inclusivity? But let's address the elephant in LKYSUNZ's HQ, right? Not theirs, just my kitchen. But number one, our 3 co-founders are white and European, which is really awkward given everything I've just talked about. But while our 3 founders might be white Europeans, they are, like all of us are, fully committed to building pathways and opportunities for underrepresented communities from around the globe to help bring them and anyone else that wants to come along to the forefront of motorsport and Formula One. So right now, we are currently looking to buy a current Formula One team. Once we're successful, this means that we're effectively buying into the exact same problems that I've just talked about. Layers on layers upon layers of legacy frameworks, attitudes, and HR and EDI challenges. So how will LKYSUNZ tackle EDI then? Well, it won't be easy. You can't simply strip a team apart. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't. I don't think we would. We're not. You cannot simply strip a team apart. There will be lots of infrastructure that works and some that needs improvement. We'll take our time, I guess, to assess and audit and review the changes that we can make, that are the kind of easy wins, and plan for the ones that need more work and more time, more resource and more management. Because some things will take time to improve, and that needs investment and it needs time for those changes to be implemented. That process of transformation for LKYSUNZ or any current team will be a long one, but it will be even longer if you don't start that work right now. You should have started 5 years ago. LKYSUNZ will start that work the minute we sign the deal. It's part of our core objective and our team's vision. That's the problem I have with looking at a lot of the current teams and doing a little bit of investigative work into what they are doing. A lot of them don't seem to be doing much at all. And the FIA's whole we race as one thing seems to have vaporized. It's vanished. But to deliver a vision this large, you need a larger than life talent to help run it, to make sure we can deliver on it. And that's why we're lucky to have our incredible Chief Operations Officer, Emma Norfolk, who is a force of nature and is very capable and has a lot of experience in delivering this kind of work. Setting up our academies and educational programs will take time. It'll take time and people and management of all of that process, but it can and it will create an Olympic-sized swimming pool of talent from around the globe for generations to come. So when we say LKYSUNZ will change the face and voice for F1 for good, we mean it. Whether we start a fresh team or buy a current one, we will be a new entity, disrupting an industry that is, let's face it, it's ripe for change. That places LKYSUNZ in a very privileged position to start addressing and making right some of the wrongs that we see in the sport. These things are easier to do when you are new, but in 5, 10, 20 years time, LKYSUNZ will be almost a legacy team. Flexing and adapting won't be as easy for us as it will be for a new team. I mean, we will do our best. We will always do our best to try and make sure we stay current. But a new disruptor at that time, like LKYSUNZ, will come in and bring about the change needed then. Once we get the green light, we won't need to restrict ourselves to a statement about EDI on our website, because by very definition, within certainly 5 to 10 years, our team will look and sound very different. LKYSUNZ will be a team made up of people from Africa, from Asia, from North America, and that's just for starters. Diverse voices, faces, ideas, and diverse thinking. 80% of the world's population really doesn't get a look in to work in Formula One. If you can consider the majority of drivers, not all of them, but the majority of drivers are from Europe, and that most of the teams and the serious people at the top, an Adrian Newey or Toto Wolff, or you're telling me that if you can find that talent in just 9% of the world's population, we can't find the same amount and a lot more, 80% of the population working with across Asia and Africa, getting those people excited and interested in a sport that they've never really had any reason to be a part of in the past. But now there's educational programs, racing facilities, esports and sim on the ground, grassroots. That's not going to make people excited and feel that they've got some ownership over a team that's based where they live. We know that will bring exponential value to Formula One, both in talent and commercial growth. So I think that's it for this week. So thank you. Thanks. Is that amateur enough for you? Next week we will have Quick Stop F1, Tandy and Nasha on, along with myself and Andy, and maybe Emma might join. Four's company, 5 is crowd. No, kidding. What else have I got to say? Oh, this.
Like, subscribe, be lucky. We are LKYSUNZ.
We are. And remember, folks,
Keep it trill. Whatever.